And we are live for race number 2 at Iowa. As you guys can see, we have a new overlay, so I'm excited for that a lot. And Alex is back this week.
Yes, I am, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a minute, but we're finally back. We finally got to reunite the duo.
Yep, we're back in ready for race number 2, like I said, at Iowa, and qualifying's just underway. 4 minutes left in it. King Jr. goes top of the board here in that 56. Quisenberry 10th off. We got a lot of good guys here going and completing their laps now. So we're gonna kind of fill it out. We're seeing how everything is going, and a lot of guys getting their laps in now. So we'll see who shakes out here on the leaderboard. It's going to be 125 laps tonight. A little bit longer race here for Iowa Speedway. And yeah, first short track of the season. Alex, what are you expecting to see tonight?
You know, I'm going to be totally honest with you. This isn't a track I've raced at very much. I don't really know too much about it, but if we're going to go off of what's going on in real life the last couple of weeks, both in Cup, Xfinity, even IndyCar, it's been okay. It's not the best short track in the world. Thankfully, the Xfinity car, it's had a history of racing a little bit better, but yeah, who knows how that'll be tonight, whether we'll actually be able to get a couple of grooves going or if it's going to be a one-lane track tonight. But I'm expecting us to hopefully be able to get some good racing tonight.
Yeah, and possible problems there for Kyle Ritchie. Spun entering 3 and 4. Actually got loose off of turn 2 and then spun into 3. So had to reset his lap as Jared Lindsay goes top of the board. Yeah, Kyle just pulls off. Not going to be a good qualifying lap for him. Jared Lindsay top of the board right now. Matt Frady completes his laps. Most of the field is going to be set. Mazzella still out on the track, riding on board with him as he's coming off of turn 4. Let's see what his first lap is going to be. First lap put down. Going to put him P27 with a 5:19. Not going to be good enough yet. He's got a second lap to try to line it up into 3 and 4. Saw a little bobble off at turn 2. Off 3 and 4 with that new pavement. Going to have a lot of grip. Is he going to be able to do it? Moves him up to 11th, but that won't be good enough for the pole position as the field is finishing off their laps. The 18 car of Jared Lindsay is going to put her on the pole with a blistering lap of a 23.86. So Lindsay on the pole for race number 2 at Iowa. Missed the first race, but was a championship competitor last season. And with that being said, missing a race could be big for the playoffs, but if he's as quick as he was last season, he should make it in pretty easily.
Oh yeah, I think considering, like you said, considering his speed last season, if you can carry a lot of that momentum, especially towards the end of the season as well, I think he's got no problem remaining at the front of the field. So, but it is a long season. We are only 2 races in, so we'll see how that carries over for the rest of the season. I'm interested to see how a lot of these guys fare up. I think I see a lot of new names in the field as well. We got a pretty stacked field tonight. I think at least 30 cars tonight. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody stacks up tonight.
Yeah, and it's going to be a fun one. We got a lot of cars for a short track, and it's going to be fun to see how everybody adapts. Obviously, Daytona, first race of the season last season, Super Speedway. Then we come to one of the short tracks of the season, one of the smaller on the schedule. So it's going to be fun to see how everybody adapts and who's going to be quick. Good little test for who's going to be fast guys throughout the season. And I think it's pretty close to the same top 5, top 10 that we've seen at the end of last season. So it's going to be a battle throughout the year, and I can't wait to just get into it. We got 9 seconds left in qualifying, and then we're going to give you the rundown. Buckle up, boys. We got a good one here in the Corn State. Fancy new graphics? Yes, sir. New overlays are clean. Good luck, number 56, King Jr. Let's go, Mikey. All right, we got a bunch of people watching already.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are at Iowa tonight, and the pole sitter is going to be Jared Lindsay, setting a blistering fast time with King Jr. in second place. Um, Oh, hold on one second while we get this going. We're gonna have some problems with some iRacing while we load in. All right, we're gonna go Brandy Arms, P5, Kevin Ritchie, P6. We're gonna have James Gooden lining out in P7, Cade Ferguson, P8. Good times for them as well up in the top 10. Rounding out the top 10 will be Michael Davis and Michael Cochrane in P10. Right behind him, new name in the field, Brandon Sermershim, however you say his last name, and then Jonathan Mazzella in P12. Down another familiar face in P13, Landon Quisberry with Jake Nipper as two guys who were decent last year. We'll see if they can make their way through the field. Down in 15th and 16th, Kyle Ritchie spinning in his qualifying lap, not setting a super great time, but he's been quick, so we'll see how he fares with Eric Shields next to him, 16th. Right below them, Kyle Shelton, new name in the field, with Clay Sarton down in 18th. Fan favorite Mikey Adams down in 19th, with Casey Brown and the beautiful John Deere car once again down in 20th. Christopher Armstrong in 21st, with Austin Norris in 22nd. Wyatt Garrett will be making his return tonight down in P23, being the last of the qualifiers, with Josh Thaxton in 24th. As we continue to run down the field here, Little Peters down in 25th, with Jonathan Schwartz not setting a qualifying time in P26th. Casey Herring making a return as well in P27th, with Michael McElroy, another familiar name in the community, down in 28th. And Jeremy Flanagan and Lucas Alves down in rounding out the bottom 30. And for your final two positions, we have Andrew C. Bruce and Brandon Richard in 31st and 32nd as we begin rolling.
As the pace field is going to roll, and we get ready for 125 tonight. Thank you for the rundown there, Alex. Love the new graphics, I will say that. Little interruption, but I love the graphics. They're awesome. But Choose Cone tonight is going to be entering turn 3, so we'll be on the lookout for the Choose Cone as well. But bringing them to the green is going to be Jared Lindsay and Robert Jr. Pace car lights are out. Should make the hard left-hand turn. Nope, we're going... Pace car lights are out, but we're going to go green this next time by. Alex, you ready? First race of the season back for you, at least.
Yes.
Short track. Let's see what everybody's got. Who's your picks?
I'm gonna be honest with you, I honestly don't really know. Randy Arms, we've seen him be really quick at the short tracks, especially last season. He's gonna be one of my guys to look out for. I think, oh man, I think I'm gonna go Mazzella. I think he's gonna be my pick tonight. I think I remember him being pretty quick at the short tracks last season, and he's got a little bit of space to make up down in 12th there, but he's been quick. So I think he's going to be my pick for tonight down in the 75 car.
Not a good lap for him in qualifying, but Kyle Ritchie always gets the short tracks. But short track guy, I know him. Matt Frady, that's going to be my pick for tonight. If he can get around Jared Lindsay, it's going to be a barn burner. But pace car lights are out, and we're getting ready to go racing for race number 2. Speedzone Esports Season 2, Race 2 is green. Jared Lindsay and Robert Jr. off of turn 2, side by side. It's going to be the 56 with a nose entering turn number 3, but Jared's going to try to fight back on the inside line. But coming off of turn number 4, it's going to be Robert Jr. to the lead at Iowa.
Yeah, not wasting any time here. He's going to take the lead on the opening lap here. He's starting to create already a little bit of a gap from, is he going to get a little bit loose off the exit of 2? And he's going to allow Jared Lindsay to get a little bit of a run here off the exit of 2 as the field tries to single file light on the backstretch.
Yeah, open up a big gap already on Jared Lindsay. We've seen it throughout most of the season. Last season, you can get that big gap, but the caution for the stage, only one stage, but it is random at what point that the caution is thrown. So anytime between 35 to 45 tonight is when that caution is going to come out. So it's random. We don't know what time it is. iRacing will throw it randomly, and then we will have to guess and see what the strategies are. You could pit a little bit early if these drivers are able to make it to that point. Pit a little bit early. You could also choose to pit late and try to just last till lap 45 if it does come out on that lap. So these guys are going to have to play a little bit of strategy. But with that randomness, it's going to mix it up a lot throughout the field.
Yeah, and you saw last season, we had a lot of guys who played really interesting strategies, mostly Jared Lindsay. We saw him pull the random strategies that were quite interesting, to say the least. Sometimes it worked out, sometimes it didn't. But like you say, I think we're going to have a lot of interesting strategy tonight with everybody just keeping it in the back of their mind that we will have a random caution. So we'll see how that works for them out later on in the stage.
Yeah, there's a lot going on throughout the field. You know, this battle between Quisenberry and Kyle Ritchie. Kyle trying to work that inside line. Not the best qualifying lap from him that he wanted. Riding on board with him now. So he goes off into turn number 1 on the inside of Quisenberry. Going to try to nice and easy on that bottom lane. Try to keep it pinned with that left front on the white line. He's going to have a dive underneath the 44. That's Sermershin. I think I said his name right. Brandon. It's Brandon in the 44. He's going to try to get up underneath him. I believe I messed that up, so sorry again, Brandon. Good battles throughout the whole field as they're spinning behind them. Multiple involved. I believe that was possibly Swartz. 2 white cars went around in turn 1. It was the 72 of Flanagan. Jeremy Flanagan in the 72 was around. And that's going to be caution number 1 of the night.
Yeah, kind of surprised to see it so far into the back of the field. She looks like somebody got turned in the back there. Yeah, Jeremy Flanagan just
let's just ride on board with him here. Oh. Up the racetrack. Into turn 1. Looks like there was contact between him and Thaxton. Looked like he had it saved, and once he hit the apron here, just nowhere for, well, Swartz to go there. Hard contact into his left rear. One of the championship competitors from last season, nowhere for him to go. Missed the, didn't get a qualifying lap in, and that's going to hurt him big as he goes around. Hard contact to the wall. Jeremy might be able to get back going, but with that being the first caution of the night, lap 9, a little bit of a run. Interesting to see how this race is shook out already, and if we're going to see people come down pit road, and we are.
Yeah, if anybody's going to want to get any damage early, if anybody wants damage, they're going to want it early. You know, it's especially this early into a run, less than 10 laps into the race, and thankfully for the 72, it doesn't look like the damage is that bad. There's a history of this car being a tank, so yeah, he should hopefully get that damage fixed. Hopefully it's not too much, so he doesn't have to go around and go into pit road a couple of times, especially with how short the track is. The field comes around pretty quickly, so yeah, hopefully he can get that fixed. And fortunately for Jonathan Schwartz, that damage looks pretty bad. Possibly some engine damage and definitely a little bit of steering and suspension damage if he can't get that fixed pretty quickly.
Yeah, well, with caution number 1 of the night being out, what have you seen in the first 10 laps of the race so far? We saw a big gap from Robert, your leader at the moment, but with Jared Lindsay and Matt Frady looking to, you know, either back off or Robert has a ton of speed in that 56 Toyota. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think this is just him pulling away. It looked like he was doing it pretty effortlessly, if I'm not gonna lie. Just looks like he's getting a little bit more entry speed into the corners, while everybody else is probably backing off a little bit. I'm not too sure what the tire strategy is gonna be tonight. I know for fuel I believe they can actually go quite a lot of laps before they even have to pit for fuel, because we do have 70% fuel in the car. Plus it being a short track, they can go a decent amount of laps. So I don't think these guys are really worrying about fuel as much. Tires maybe. The track temp right now is only 91 degrees, so it's not super hot. So tires might not be something like super concerning to worry about tonight. So just from the opening couple of laps, I think that's just Robert King pulling away.
Well, we saw the choose cone there into 3 and 4 that time. Kind of forgot about it actually, but into 3 and 4 before they double up is when the choose will be happening. So everybody choose in there, and it's Robert picked the top, Jared picked the bottom, and Matt picked the top behind the race leader. So interesting to see how that shook out with Matt picking the outside line, being the 3rd place runner. which was pretty cool to see. So that's going to make this race very entertaining if we get a late race restart with all the choosing that could happen late in this one. But going to get back going on lap 11 for the restart. 115 laps to go.
Yeah, something new tonight that I'm going to be honest with you, didn't actually find out till right before we started the broadcast. We do have a choose cone rule, something that I think I remember seeing going on around the league. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the rest of the night as we're about to go green.
Robert with a great restart over Jared Lindsay. Has a big gap. He's going to be clearing to one. It's going to be Matt looking to the outside of Jared through 1 and 2. Doesn't look like he's going to have it. Next battle on the racetrack is going to be for the 4th spot. Looks like Davis is going to clear Wingard with Kyle Ritchie just behind them. 2 Ritchie brothers just at the front of this field as Austin's going to get a little bit tight. Possible contact there down the front straightaway. And everybody gets past the lap 1 after the restart.
And once again, you saw Robert King get himself a great jump on. Already got himself a half a second lead just off first lap after the restart. As everybody else seems to be pretty bunched up behind them, trying to get on the inside. It looks like the inside is going to be where a lot of the passes are made tonight. So, yeah, we'll see how that lines up for a couple of guys, especially with it looks like a couple of guys being pretty aggressive off of restarts. We'll see how many spots anybody can make up without bringing in another caution.
Yeah, and with all the cautions that could happen tonight, it's going to be interesting to see how these guys push, how much they push, and how conservative they're going to be. And like we said with that random stage caution, how much are you willing to burn off the tires? As we got a battle for P2 going on at the moment. Robert still with a big lead, but it's going to be Matt to the inside of Lindsay as they go into turn number 1.
Yeah, Robert King continuing to pull away, but we see some battles starting to form. Like you said, Gabe, for the second position right now, I see a couple other guys with James Goodwin battling Cade Ferguson in the back for 9th. And a couple other guys even behind them towards the back of the field also battling as well. As it's going to turn to a 3-car battle back there.
Yeah, lots going on there as we got 3 wide through 1 and 2. Just in front of him, that is Kevin Ritchie, James Goodwin, and Ferguson there through 1 and 2. 3 wide. They get it figured out. Kevin kind of got shucked out like a sandwich that was filled to the brim, and you went to go take a bite and the pickle fell at the back. But as they go off into 1, they got it figured out. Kevin with an opportunity with a big run. Can he go back 3? Doesn't look like it at the moment.
Yeah, it seems to be so far that everybody isn't really worrying about tires too much. I can see a lot of these guys just throwing it in and maybe getting a little bit sliding mid-corner and definitely trying to make aggressive moves. So it seems to me that tires may not be as much of a concern as I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, we're seeing everybody making those aggressive passes, and we know how abrasive the racetrack was before as Randy and Kyle Ritchie are going to battle right in front of the battle there. As Randy's going to clear, move up in front of Kyle, and move Randy into the 6th spot.
Yeah, and not super surprising to see him make his way through the field. He's usually pretty calm, especially on restarts and even throughout the race, but seems to be a little bit more aggressive to start the season. Not too bad considering, we saw it last year where there were some races where he would make his way up and kind of sit around the top 5, top 10 of the field and then would kind of just stay there. There were some moments where he was able to race towards the front, just wasn't able to finish out a lot of races, so nice to see him being a bit more aggressive in the beginning of the races here.
Yeah, we're seeing the gap kind of build between Lindsay and Matt, but it's a 1.1 second lead that Robert has over over 2nd and 3rd. Fastest lap of the race was Robert a few laps ago with a 23.8. Lindsay and Matt's fastest lap were a 1.8 and a 1.5. So 0.3 of a second quicker than Jared and Matt. He's got a big gap at the moment, but one thing that I'm noticing, and I saw on the charts in practice, average laps, the last 5 laps. Robert was a 4.04. Jared and Matt battling were a 4.3 and a 4.3 as well was average 5 lap. So we'll see if that average starts to come down as these two battle, and if Robert is able to save enough tire, those 5-lap average could come into play with the tire saving that he's able to do out front.
Yeah, we'll see how much the surface can actually screw off these tires. It's not going to be super prevalent until later in the run. We can actually see who's going to start falling off and whether the aggressiveness really is gonna make these guys drop back a lot. So we'll see later on in the run just how much tire wear there is. You know, like you said before, it is an abrasive track. It was just repaved. I'm not sure if iRacing has the most recent repave on here, but if so, that could change how these tires are going to react for a lot of these guys.
Yeah, you see Matt just got in the wall there, actually. He's starting to lose a little bit of time on Lindsay as we're going to move back. Little battle here between Randy, Davis, and Wingard. Randy's starting to look to the outside through 3 and 4. Doesn't look like he's got the biggest run, though. There's battles all over this racetrack. Just behind them, Cade's trying to make the move on Kyle Ritchie. Looked like the shallow entry into 1 and 2. Can he slide up just a little bit? Can he be clear through the center? He is. He's going to be able to get clear. He does on the exit of turn 2. Does Kyle turn back underneath him? Looks like he thought about it, but thought better into 3. So Cade up to the 7th spot. His teammate just behind them, MP11, winner last week at Daytona, season open winner, Landon Quisenberry, your points leader at the moment after race number 1. Doing a good job, just moving himself into the top 10. So that team is doing a good job for their best run that we've seen the last 2 seasons. Dodge Better Esports. Looking good, both on the side of the top 10.
Yeah, and while you were going over those battles, Cabe, we got even more battles towards the back of the field. There's a gaggle of like 7 cars going at it right now. Starting with, I believe, Jake Nipperson going down to Mazzella, Michael Cochrane, Brandon Summersheim, our favorite Mikey Adams, and Clay Sartin. Everybody behind them going absolutely crazy as we can see Kevin Ritchie trying to make a move going underneath of Landon Quisenberry, last week's winner.
Try to get the wide shot here as they go down the front trail. You can see all the way from 10th to 18th as they go through the corner. See Kevin Ritchie there on the bottom, trying not to wash up into Quisenberry on the outside line. But this is a big gaggle of cars as we're watching everybody try to maneuver their way as we're closing in on the stage break. Less than 6 laps away from that random yellow, if it does come out as soon as it could. And that random 10 laps in between. So we're getting through it. And Quisenberry's going to clear Kevin on the bottom. Now Kevin's going to have to try to fight on the inside. And that inside doesn't look like to be the best spot where this big pack is. I don't know if it's because it's being pinned down on the bottom or that new asphalt a little up higher is better. But this track is also going to take a lot of rubber with that new pavement. It's got an opportunity of taking rubber. So these cars are going to have to be... Going to be a handful at the start of it, and this race track grips up. Then you're going to see a lot of moves be happening.
Yeah, it almost looks like you kind of have to have a little bit of a trade-off. Like you said, the inside doesn't look like the primary line you want to run throughout the entire run, more so for just passing. It looks like both lines can be kind of even, and you can get a good run off the top if you get the line right. But you almost kind of have to trade it off for tire wear. Like I said, it's kind of hard to tell whether these guys are actually super worried about the tires tonight, but if they are, they're definitely going to have to try to go back and forth to make sure they don't wear them out too quick, but also not lose too much time and try to make whatever passes they can get.
Well, speaking of tire wear, it could be a fact of tire wear as Robert Jr., fastest lap of the race, but average 5 laps, the last 5 laps, is in the 25.09 range. Jared Lindsay and Matt Frady both last 5 lap average was a 24.96 and a 24.9. So almost a 10th quicker in the last 5 laps. And it showed Lindsay all over the back bumper of Robert for the lead.
Yeah, we saw this last year. Jared Lindsay and Matt Frady, both some of the best tire savers in the league. Seeing it right here. Kind of unsure how Robert King is going to be so far, as we don't have a lot of data on him, but we know for a fact that the last season that these 2 guys behind him were some of the best at tire saving, and it's starting to prove itself now.
Ooh, a little bit of a check up there on corner exit from Robert. Jared tried to not get into him, and that stacked up Jared, which possibly caused Matt to check up. Robert went way up the hill there. Going to be way out of the way. And Jared's going to go by, move Matt to go by. So opportunity taken from Jared and Matt. And they both move by Robert. Possibly tire wear being burned away. But you can see the I rating in the bottom right. A-class driver. Obviously clean, but 1800. Not high I rated for the two that are in front of him. With Matt being just under 4K and Jared a 6.2. So with Robert racing those two guys in front of him, he's learning a lot, even with the lesser experience and the lower I rating, showing a lot of good speed tonight.
Yeah, you can honestly, I will say this, you could definitely tell that not to, no offense or anything, but the lower I rating might be starting to kick in here. You can see a lot, even in the lower series, that a lot of guys like to push really early, and they don't realize that the tires burn off a lot more quickly than they think they will, and they just start to drop back. And it kind of looks like that's exactly what's happening with Robert King. Had himself a great opening start for the last 30-ish laps, but even with the caution, you could see him just burning those tires up. Like I said, the last lap where we saw Freddie and Lindsay take the first and second spot, you could just see that Robert King just wasn't able to take the corner as tight as he wanted to. He just kind of washed up, and yeah, so like I said, I think tire wear may be more of a factor we think it will be now.
Well, we're seeing it now. We're in the randomness, so this lap, it could be the stage. We have a lapper that's Wyatt Garrett right in front of your leaders, but Matt has less than 6 laps to get around it. Around Jared Lindsay for the stage win if he's able to. If it does come out this next lap, Lindsay would be your stage winner, but Matt is still doing as much as he can to try to get by. It just doesn't look like he's able to get the run through the under that bottom lane. He's going to try to get off of 4, has a good run there. Just doesn't have the speed on corner exit to fight it.
Yeah, that's another thing about the random stage break window that you never know. Obviously, you're not going to know when it's going to come out. So, being in the lead when it comes out is going to be obviously super important. You want as many stage points as you can get because those will add up throughout the season. As Matt Frady's going to try to make a move on the bottom of Jared Lindsay in the middle of 3 and 4. Will he get the run off of the exit? No. Lindsay's going to be able to keep it on the outside and keep the lead as we are now on lap 40. Window is here. Caution could come out at any moment.
Matt is still trying to fight that. He's not lost any time on Jared, even running that bottom lane. So Matt could have better tires than Jared. As the caution comes out, Jared Lindsay is going to be the stage winner. Matt had a fighting effort there and was maybe quicker than Jared. Just wasn't able to get around him, but a good battle for the stage there. Well, Alex, I'm assuming we're going to start to see pit stops, but the first 40 laps of this race was a doozy. What have you seen and learned so far from everybody in this field, and who is the guy that you expected, or that is a shocking point?
Man, I'm not gonna lie to you. It seems really mixed right now. It's kind of hard to tell, how the tires are reacting, how the long run's gonna be. I mean, we saw it with Robert King. He started to fall off, but it kind of looked like he was really the only person who fell off like that. I didn't really see a lot of other guys drop back through the field that much outside of Frady and Lindsay being able to pull away. But I think that just is them being arguably probably the quickest guys in the field right now. But yeah, I think tire wear is pretty interesting right now. It looks very racy, which is quite nice for Iowa. You never, it's not the most racy track on the planet, but starting to prove me wrong a little bit here is obviously we saw a lot of 3-wide action before, a lot of moves being made, as we do have pit stops.
Yep, pit stops are underway for the stage. This could flip the field here. Obviously, a little bit better as Robert missed the pit stall. Maybe overshot it just a little bit, but the race off of pit road is going to be close. It's going to be Jared, Matt, Davis, Wingard, Arms, Ferguson. Your top 5 rolling off of pit road. So, pretty good stops all around, but obviously, the nice thing about the choose cone is with that choose cone, even if you lose a spot or 2 on pit road, it doesn't hurt you too bad to where you are able to kind of make that up with the choose if you lose a spot or 2. So obviously top 2 stayed the same. Davis gained a few spots. Wingard did the same as well. Randy there, Ferguson. And what happened to Robert Jr. there? Possibly sped on pit road. He came out of the pits. He's going to come out of the pits deep in the field. 25th as he comes out. So not what Robert wanted to have happen after the pit stops after having such a strong first 20, 25 laps of the race has dropped deeply in this field.
I'll tell you exactly what happened, Cave. As he was coming onto pit road, he got rear-ended by let's see, he got rear-ended by James Goodwin coming onto pit road. I think he just slowed down a little bit too earlier than he was thinking. Oh, actually, no, James Goodwin just misjudged it and actually broke a little too late. Gave Robert King a little bit of rear-end damage, so I'm assuming that's what he was trying to fix. Very unfortunate way to start his pit stop before he even got to the box.
Well, with that being said, let's get an interview quickly here in with Jared Lindsay, your stage winner.
Jared Lindsay, you got a copy, my man?
Yeah, what's up?
No, look at you, man, bringing out the stage win, coming out on lap 40 here. We saw you and Matt Frady honestly be the guys to beat towards the second half of the stage. What did you see there for the first stage here and having to catch down Robert King?
Well, he was just running way harder than I think me and Matt were wanting to go. Everyone was just running the bottom. I think I was like kind of the only guy in the beginning running the top. There's a lot of speed on the entrance, but you really lose it if you're side by side on the exit. I feel like it's a good way to save tires, so I'm going to try to get back up there, hopefully clear Maggot and coming out of 2 and just hold that defensive line.
Well, good luck the rest of the race. Hopefully be talking to you here at the end. I know you're coming to restart. Good luck.
All right, thanks, guys.
Jared Lindsay there as we come back for the rest of the race. Stage is over. It's going to restart on lap 44. Jared fires. We're back green to finish the race off here at Iowa. Jared with a good restart over Matt. Going to be clear into turn number 1. There's Michael Davis on the bottom. Going to see if he can fight with Matt with the new tires. Looks like he's not going to be able to, but the battle is still on for the lead. Then for third, they're almost 4 wide behind him into the corner. Wingard way up the racetrack. They're going to be 3 wide on corner exit. Restarts are starting to get crazy. They're 3 wide still. That's Austin, James, and Kyle Ritchie on the bottom there.
Yeah, really surprising to see a lot of these guys just go for it. You would think, considering we saw how hard Robert King fell off towards the end of the stage, that people were going to want to conserve tires. But I don't know, man. It looks like people just want to race, and you see a lot of 3 wide action back there. There's Wingard obviously getting moved up there on the exit of 4 and got his way shuffled back as everybody tries to make their way through the field. Some battles going on right now, and yeah, we'll see how this progresses over the stage in terms of tire wear. Lindsay's interview kind of gave us just a little bit of an insight of what the tires are like, that you really don't want to push hard too early, or else whatever happened to Robert King is going to happen to you. So look to see Lindsay and Frady continue to do what they did last stage, and we'll see if they end up pulling away like they did before.
Well, Cade Ferguson there on the bottom almost had some contact with Michael on his outside as they went through the corner, but Randy Arms moves himself up into the top 3 for the first time tonight. He's slowly and methodically working his way through the field. You see Kyle Ritchie as they're going to be sideways behind him. That's Clay starting on the inside with a big save. Clay with an amazing save on the bottom lane. Kind of got stacked up, but that's the 67 of Clay starting sideways in front of the field. That could have been big if he did not save it. Let's go back and take a look and see what happened there. Into 3, kind of overdrove the corner, got into the door of Kevin Ritchie, but they both were able to save it. Great saves from both of them. Possibly saved their race and the field behind them.
Yeah, great save by Clay there to just keep it on the bottom and make sure he didn't run up into the rest of the field. You saw they were almost 4 wide on the exit there once he finally got back on the track and straightened out. So good job by him to make sure he didn't cause any extra chaos there.
Yeah, that could have been very big, but even Kevin, as sideways as he was, really didn't lose that much time. But man, a lot happened there in a short span of a few laps. As you see the gap now, a second between Mazzella, had to check up, and then the field that's battling right in front of him between Goodwin, Davis, Ritchie, Cochrane, Wingard, and even Nipris lurking there in that top little group, just inside the top 10, but still kind of a 4-car breakaway. It's going to be Lindsay, Frady, Arms, Ferguson. The top 4 at the moment, kind of just a half a second ahead of 5th, with Davis leading that back group back to 10th. But overall, everybody seems to be having a racing buddy throughout the field. At some point in this race, you're racing somebody, And that's something that I did not expect from Iowa, as racy as it's being. It's been a fun one to watch so far.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning, at the top of the broadcast, I wasn't sure how this was gonna race. We've seen it in real life that it hasn't been the best for racing, but yeah, iRacing's definitely bringing the product here, and as you said before, kind of a couple groups starting to break off. Mostly the front four, but they are starting to fall back into the clutches of the rest of the top 10, while everybody else behind them is kind of in their own group racing. And oh, as we had a car on the wall, caution will not come out yet. Oh, it's about to come out now. There are multiple cars wrecking on the start-finish line.
That's Kevin Ritchie sideways in front of the field. Caution is out for the third time tonight. Let's take a look and see what happened. What did you see here, Alex?
Oh, I just see as we go to the line. Oh, you're actually looking at something different too. This was actually stemming from two wrecks. Hey, it was actually Austin Wingard coming up into. Yeah, that was the other wreck I was talking about. Austin Wingard coming up into the 76. Kyle Ritchie just getting him loose and shove him up into the wall. And behind him, I believe that was not James Goodwin. Let's see if I can find whoever was behind him. It was Jake Nippers behind Kyle Ritchie, just gets it to the back of him, not expecting him to slow down like that. And after that, it's kind of just Kyle stuck in the middle of nowhere, gets hit by a bunch of cars. So, yeah, a lot of unnecessary damage there for some guys that I'm sure they didn't want, especially not super far into the race, not even halfway through. Yeah, a lot of contact there. Definitely going to see some cars come into pit road to try to get some damage fixed. Probably take some tires, even if it's been a short run. But yeah, that could be a pretty devastating end for the night of Kyle Ritchie, because looks like he's got a lot of damage there.
Yeah, as we're riding on board with Austin is, whoa, hard in the air. Kyle went, wow, that was unexpected. I did not see that actually the first time. Let's ride on board with Clay, as he saw it actually right in front of him. Oh, saw the under tray from Kyle and sneaks by on the top side, but big wreck. A lot bigger than what I thought have happened. So a lot of cars going to come down pit road and get, well, just a few. Not too many. It's going to be both the Ritchie brothers down pit road. Let's see. Mazzella came down pit road. Davis came down pit road. Good few cars. Not sure about tires, but overall, mixing up the field early in this one. But that's going to shake up the top five once again.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Quite mixed up, even just throughout the field in general. I mean, look, it's not super surprising to see Jared Lindsay towards the top five, top three, leading the race. You know, guy who was quick all last year. Was one of the main guys to look out every week, so not super surprised. Same with Matt Frady as well, and Randy Arms. So your top three, not super surprising to see any three of them up there. But the rest of the field, Kate Ferguson, Michael Cochrane, James Goodwin, Austin Wingard, new name Brander Sermersheim, and Clay Sartin. A lot of those guys, you know, aren't usually towards the front of the field. So, you know,
some are
something
even
like this
rookies.
usually likes to, yeah, some are rookies. We got, like I said, plenty of new names. So, you know, yeah, very mixed up. You know, we saw towards the end of last season, in the middle of last season, that it was kind of the same 5 to 7 guys every week that were the guys to look out for. But we could have a lot more of a mixed up field now, which is quite nice to see.
See the choose cone there as the field chooses into 3 and 4. So everybody kind of getting their getting into it as getting into their spots and everything like that. Saw Jared pick the inside line, which first two restarts we saw Robert pick the outside. Now Jared's picking the inside for these restarts, so differing in strategy. And Matt obviously picked whatever lane Jared didn't to make sure he had the front row. So it's going to be Lindsay and Frady to lead them back to the green. I feel like we've said that a lot all last season. I feel like there's an opportunity to say it a lot this season once again, but the guy that I want to give a little shout out to is Ferguson. Doing a really good job. I know we kind of jinxed him last season when he had a similar run like this. One of his best races he said he's ever had. And we're going to not talk about him anymore, so hopefully that luck stays with him tonight. But they're coming back to the green. And Cade also one to look out for, kind of a underdog pick, as we're coming back to the green for the restart on lap number 58. Through the cornfield restart zone, Lindsay fires back green. Lindsay clear by 2 into turn 1. It's going to be Cade underneath Matt. Who's going to have the run off? This could leave Matt with a good run. He's going to peek underneath Lindsay down the back straightaway. Battle for the lead is on into 3 and 4. He's going to be able to gas up, but will he be able to get clear on corner exit? Doesn't look like it. Jared's going to try to fight it back to his outside. Matt and Jared into 1 and 2. Side by side. Matt's going to be clear for half a second through the center of the corner. Who's going to be able to pick up the gas earlier? It's going to be Matt, but Jared picked it up. He got tight and was still able to hold around the outside.
Yeah, great battle from these two here. Not sure how hard they're going to want to push so early on in a run, but honestly right now it doesn't seem like they care. As Jared Lindsay's going to try to make a move down on the bottom. He's going to keep himself side by side. He don't know if he's going to clear off the exit. We'll see here as they almost make contact on the exit of 2. Yeah, Matt Frady's going to get lose his momentum and drop back into the rest of the field as Jared Lindsay retakes the lead.
They both got loose on the corner exit of 2. Had to save it. And then that leave Randy to catch both of them after they both lifted. But they stayed side by side. Now Jared's going to be clear in the corner. Matt's going to try to do the crossover. Looks like he's going to look underneath him on the corner exit. He's going to drive back underneath him. What a battle we have for the lead at Iowa.
Yeah, and he didn't get as good of a run on the exit there, but he's going to try it again, diving onto the inside of 3 and 4 here. We'll see if he can get the run. Jared Lindsay did say earlier that he likes the top for the exit line, and it's clearly working out well for him as he's going to keep the lead. Matt Frady just continuing to try to go on the inside here. We saw him try the crossover twice. This time he's just going to try to take the inside. Not able to get the run, though, as Jared Lindsay keeps the lead.
Yeah, Cade Ferguson looking on in this battle, learning a lot, like we mentioned. And one thing that is awesome about leagues and league racing, the lower I-rated guys may be able to kind of sneak in at a few tracks that they're good at and learn from a lot of the fast guys in front of him. Cade, 1.3K I-rated driver, has a 4.6 with Randy in front of him. Matt, 3.8, who could be a lot higher than that, obviously. And then Jared, a 6.2. So Cade's learning a lot from running with these guys that he almost got in the left rear Randy. But Cade doing a great job battling here at the front of this field.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing for sure. He definitely didn't want to learn off of Randy. Was tapping the outside wall on the exit of 2 there. Saw Randy get just a little bit loose. Caused Cade to have to check up just a little bit, but seemingly keeping up with him as he's going to just trying to peek every now and then to try to make the move. The field not getting super spread out right now as it looks there's a bunch of battles going on, especially towards the back, towards the top 10. As a battle for the lead still on.
See this battle here for 13th between Michael Davis and the 26 on his outside. It's going to be Bruce on his outside. They're doing a good battle. Andrew Bruce there. This is the battle for 12th. Just behind them was Zella looking for a hole and somewhere to go. Had to check up and avoid a few early wrecks, but they're doing a good job trying to get back through the field with fan favorite Mikey just behind him as we got the battle for the lead once again. Matt's reeling him in. And still just battles everywhere throughout this field. Ooh, Lindsay,
as we see there, Jared Lindsay gets up into the wall. Matt Frady's able to get a run on the front stretch here. We'll see if he's able to clear. Currently still side by side as we're moving back to the battle with Jonathan Mazzella. Still, as he's going to get a little bit of contact with Andrew Bruce. Back on board with Matt Frady, trying to make the move as we see Jared Lindsay keep the outside line, get a little bit of momentum as Frady got a tiny bit loose, and they're going to stay side by side in an entry of 1.
Yeah, going to be a little bit of a slide job. Matt has a nose. He's going to gas up, going to be clear, but is Jared going to do the crossover? Same move Matt did on him earlier. Not a big enough run, it looks like. So Matt to the point on lap number 69. And here comes Randy Arms and Cade Ferguson behind him.
Yeah, great lack to keep the lead there. As like you said, still no gaps really, no big gaps really forming behind the rest of them. So everybody's seemingly able to stay with them. Even though they are racing quite hard, they may not be burning off as much as I think they will if the field is this close. And at some point, if they all are wearing pretty evenly, then they should stick together and continue to race like this for hopefully for the rest of the race.
Yeah, there's battles throughout the field as a lot of guys are trying to make spots and gain as much as they can. You see Thaxton one of the fastest guys last week at the Super Speedway, struggling this week on the Super Speedway. See rookie Clay Sarton in the 67. He's moved himself into the top 8. So a few guys that were really good in practice, a few short track guys, a few actually teammates there with the 67 and 40 out front. They're teammates, and both drivers really like this racetrack. Iowa not too far away from Clay, so possibly a hometown feel there. But yeah, everybody seeming to like this racetrack a lot after this repave.
Yeah, it's looking to be a lot more racy, like I said, than I thought it was going to be. We're going to have somebody pit. Robert King coming to the pit lane. Surprised to see him coming so early. Not sure if it's for any extra damage he might have had earlier and the car's not feeling too great, or if this is just for another set of tires. Not too sure if we're coming up on a fuel window or a tire window. We'll see here if anybody else decides to come and win them. But as of now, everybody's still going strong. It's single file out a little bit on the backstretch, but into the corners, seems like everybody still wants to try to get a move in, as Matt Frady will retain the lead as we move back to the 42 of Michael Cochrane making a move.
Oh, just behind him. It's going to be the 45 of Wingard sideways. Possible contact there with Davis. Barely able to gather it back up, but didn't lose that much time. Great save from Austin there in turn 1. Everybody kind of took avoiding action, but Austin with a great save there.
Yeah, a couple saves by some guys tonight that were able to keep themselves out of the wall and keep themselves on any extra trouble in keeping the caution flag inside of the race director's hands. And as we can see here, guys just kind of shuffling out now. It might be the saving part of the race. We are actually a little over yeah, we're a little over halfway through the race now, 50 laps to go, and we'll see, as I do believe pit stops should be coming soon, actually, if I did my math correctly. But yeah, as of now, as you can see, actually, the front two starting to pull a little bit of a gap away from Randy Arms. Not super big or anything, but a little bit farther than it has been for the last 30 laps or so.
Yeah, just under 50 laps to go. Crossing the line now. We're at 49 to go. So just past that little bit in the race to where the intensity is going to start to pick up. Pit stops could be coming on the way. I don't think that these drivers are able to make it that long on a strategy. So either these guys are waiting for a caution, or they're going to have to pit on a short track under green.
Yeah, I will say this. Within the last 2 laps-ish, I know I mentioned that everybody was still a little close, but I think we have hit the point of a lot of major fall-off here. As of right now, your leader, Matt Frady, running 24.8 the last couple of laps. As I was actually, for him at least, his times have been pretty consistent. Behind him, Jared, Lindsay, same thing here, but everybody else behind him is starting to fall off a little bit. So maybe we're starting to see that fall off like I thought we were going to see towards the end of a run here.
Yeah, and we're starting to see a lot go down as we're closing in on the pit stops. But we're going to do a little bit of a crank it up and leave it to actually the new cars. We're coming up on a lapper. Matt going to go to the inside of Michael. We're going to do a little bit of a crank it up.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, back from the crank it up. Not a lot of stuff going on too far the last couple of laps. Like I said, tire wear starting to set in for some of these guys here as the field is starting to spread out. We did see somebody get into the wall earlier. Not sure exactly who it was, but a little bit of a scrape there. Nothing too much to worry about as everybody else crosses their P's and minds their Q's, however you say the saying. As like we said before, pit stops may be coming up soon, especially with the tire wear. That or people are gonna try to split the race from that last caution we had. Not too sure. Could be some guys looking for some yellow here though, to hopefully make it to the end of the race.
See in the wall there from Cade, a little bit of wall tappage there from a lot of the front runners we've seen throughout this race. So these cars are getting tighter as the rubber has been laid down. And it's making it very interesting as we close it in on 40 laps to go. As pit stops are coming underway, Jared dives to pit road, Randy to pit road, Cade to pit road. 4 of the top 5 come to pit road there all at once. Matt Frady stays out, but we're going to stick with those guys that just pitted and they're on pit road now.
Yeah, and this is where it starts. It's the domino effect. Once one person comes in, once 2 people come in, then everybody starts to come in. You don't want to be the guy who's on the super old tires while everybody is on fresh tires. We saw it done a couple of times last season. It worked for some people at some tracks, but here, track position is going to be key, and you don't want to go a lap down with how short the track is. So pitting as soon as possible will most likely be the key for a lot of the front runners here who haven't pit yet.
Yeah, Matt is staying out on pit road, which is something that is, we're going to have to see how it works out later in this run. It could go bad and it could be great for him. Lindsey's just now coming out of pit road. Going to have a gap on Cade. Where is Randy? Where'd Randy come out? I don't even see Randy. So possibly Randy spread. Here's Matt on pit road.
Yeah, Randy is off the exit of 2 right now. Just passing the 72 of Jeremy Flanagan,
There's
who has
Jared
not
sideways.
pit yet.
Yeah, Randy is ahead of Jared, so differing strategies, I guess, at the moment. From your front runners, we saw Jared get way sideways trying to keep it, but that's also going to hurt his tires a little bit. So we're seeing a lot going on as pit stops are going underway under green flag here at Iowa.
And there goes Jared Lindsey. He's going to have a massive gap on Matt Frady. Just like I said, it honestly looks like Matt Frady had a really tough time on pit road as the gap is massive now. Jared Lindsey cutting his way through traffic, just trying to continue the gap. He's on the 2-lap fresher tires than Matt Frady. It shouldn't affect him too much in the long run, but we'll see how it plays out for him, whether or not Matt Frady can make his way through the field, or if he's going to want to try to save tire for the rest of the race and have it for the end. But it seems to me like these guys are going to be able to make it to the end on fuel now with only about 37, I believe, laps left in the race. So more than likely a longer fuel run coming as long as we don't get another caution. But looking good for Jared Lindsey coming out of the pits about 2 laps ago. So far, still a couple other guys, pretty much everybody in the top 10 still yet to pit. With Michael Davis assuming the lead for now as we wait for the rest of the field to pit. Ooh, look at that. Our favorite man, Mikey Adams, is currently in 4th, yet to pit. But, yeah, like I said, a lot of the guys towards the top 10 still have yet to pit. We'll see how long else they can go out for. Everybody who's a lap down right now, well, Landon Quisbury might just be a lap down because he's got some damage on the front of his car. It looks like Randy or Jared will be, I think it's actually going to be,
caution.
The yellow's going to come out.
That worked out perfect for Michael Davis and Jonathan Mozella, Andrew Bruce. That worked out perfect for him. Even Mikey Adams in 4th position. What a move to trap the fast guys a lap down. That worked out perfectly for the guys that stayed out in the top 10. Didn't pit yet. And that is going to flip the field as caution number 4 comes out on the night. Did you see where it was at?
Gonna be totally honest with you, Cabe. I cannot find any of how this caution came out. I don't know if... Was it this? No, I honestly don't know. But why are we under caution? The only thing I could see is I believe I saw one of the guys on the backstretch get a little bit loose. I think it was Andrew Bruce getting a little bit loose off the exit of 2. But it
was Wingard.
Wingard.
Wingard here in the middle of the pack, just in front of Matt Frady. Here's Cade on the inside. Kind of checked up to stay off of Robert, and Matt got in the back of him, but he saved it, kept it rolling, but the caution waved as they all went by. So actually, Matt got into the back of him. Nothing that either one of them did, really. It was just a innocent little checkup. But Matt into the back of Wingard, which that actually hurts Matt even more than helps, as he was one of the guys that pitted. But that helps everybody who did stay out there, and it's going to hurt all the guys that came to pit road early. Just what we talked about.
Yeah, we'll see how it works out for the pit cycle. I'm sure a lot of people, I don't know if everybody will get their lap back. They technically should, unless I'm mistaken. If not, everybody back from Jared Lindsay could be trapped a lap down. Or Jared Lindsay could be the lucky dog, but it honestly might be Jeremy Flanagan with him already being back on the lead lap. So we'll see how everything cycles out. Not sure how to work with the positions or if everybody will get their lap back, but yeah, if not, that's a very interesting. There we go. As you can see, everybody getting their lap back. So yes, pretty much everybody will be back onto the lead lap who was already racing there.
You know what? I think it's time. I think it's time for the weekly interview.
I think it is.
He's up front. We're not going to ask him how well he thinks anything else is going to go, but come to the choose cone. Let's get a word in with him.
Mikey Adams, welcome back to the booth, my man. It's been a while since I've spoken to you. How are we feeling?
Feeling pretty good. How about you, Alex? How's it going, buddy?
Man, it's great to see you, especially towards the front. I know it's because of a little bit of a great caution for you, but I mean, other than that, you've been running pretty well. Kept yourself out of trouble tonight. How's the race been going for you? What are your thoughts so far?
It's been going pretty good. You know, I've been racing this thing like a bat out of hell. You know, guys at the shop built a pretty good race car. I feel like I got a can of Monster Energy in the gas tank. You know, we're plowing and thriving right now, buddy.
That's what I like to hear. Got a good-looking car under you tonight. We wish you the best of luck for the rest of the race. I don't know if you want to get anything in with my friend Cabe, but yeah, we look forward to seeing you for the rest of the night for sure.
I'm not going to
shout out Taco. Shout out Taco for the scheme.
All right, well, I'm not going to interrupt you. You're having a good run. Trapped everybody lap down on new tires in front of them. Good luck. Go try to get her down, Mikey.
Yes, sir.
That man sounds like he farms and gets a bunch of corn, so hopefully he gets the win tonight, because that interview will be amazing. I just can't wait for that interview if he's able to win it. He's going to start P5 or P4 for the P3. Yeah. But he was P4 coming to the green or coming to the restart. But it's going to be Davis and Mazzella to lead him back to the green. With 30 laps to go, Mazzella fires. Actually, Davis fires, and we're back green. Great restart for Davis there. Saw the speed early. Got it caught up in a caution. But Peters is going to go into second. Mazzella third. Mikey fourth. And the battle is for fifth between two new guys. That is Alvarez in the 15, who's going to go around in front of Casey Herring, and the whole field has to avoid. And they somehow do. But just as I was going to talk about him, caution waves, and Lucas Alvarez in front of the field as another caution comes out on the night.
Yeah, it just looks like an unfortunate spin, maybe pushing a little bit too hard. Very unfortunate for Casey Herring to get caught up in that. Hasn't had himself a great share of luck in the last couple of league seasons he's been running in general. So unfortunate to see him sustain even more damage than he already had before that he had gotten fixed. That might be an unfortunate end for the night for him. And maybe for Lucas Alvarez as well. Maybe some left side damage for him. But we'll see how that works out for him. As, yeah, like you said, Cabe, cautions out. A lot of people are pretty much new tires. Maybe a little bit of fuel saving going on, as we only have about 27, 28 laps left in the race. As we'll see everybody cycle out.
Yeah, with that caution being thrown, it kind of jumbles everything else up. We're closing in on 27 to go. I don't know if it's smart to pit at this point or not. It's kind of an in-between strategy. You see Matt staying out, but we saw Lindsay pit there. I don't know. There's a lot that could happen if you pit. We just saw it happen to Casey Herring. Not anything that he could do, but Lindsay to pit road doesn't look like he's going to take... Actually, he does. Right sides go up, so it looks like he's going to take his final set of the race. And this could change everything here.
Yeah, kind of surprised to see him pit so late and take these tires. I mean, we only have but 26 laps left of this race, so um, who knows if he's going to have enough time to make it through the field. It has been a little bit chaotic the last couple of restarts, so we'll see if maybe he can make his way through the field just by dodging the traffic and being quick on the freshest tires in the field. But yeah, we'll see how that works out for him. Let's go through a little run through the field real quick as everybody crosses the line. Right now, your leader, the 5 of Michael Davis, having himself a great night as he had himself a really lucky caution to keep himself at the front of the field. Right behind him in the 1 car of Lilith Peters, up from 25th from the back of the field to 2nd. Jonathan Mazzella up in 3rd. Mikey Adams, obviously rooting for him to do well tonight, up from 19th position. Jeremy Flanagan involved in a little bit of trouble earlier, but keeping his nose clean since then. Christopher Armstrong, another new name who's also up quite a lot of spots. You can see here a lot of guys in the top 10 up quite a lot of spots. League owner Randy Arms up into 7th, down a couple of spots from starting position, but we've seen him be quick tonight. We'll see if he can make his way through the rest of the field. 8th, Jake Nipperis. Austin Norris down in 9th. Casey Herring rounding out the top 10, but he is going to drop down towards the back of the field because he is in pit lane now, serving that damage he had. Cade Ferguson right there in 11th, as the field will update as we go across the line again. Might be a little bit jumbled up because of the twos. Behind him, Matt Farady. Brandon Surmashim again. Oh, as the field's going to mix up again. Jared Lindsay down in 13th. Michael Cochrane 14th. Not having himself too bad of a night. We'll see if he can make his way through the field as well. James Goodwin involved in a little bit of trouble earlier, I believe, down about 8 spots from his initial sparring spot. Josh Thaxton down in 16th. Austin Wingard involved in some trouble tonight, causing 1 or 2 cautions, I believe. Casey Herring, down in 18th now, will continue to drop down the field. Landon Quisenberry trying to catch his way to the field, down in 18th. Robert King, guy we saw was really quick earlier in the field, down into 20th, the lap down. Andrew Bruce trapped the lap down as well. Michael McElroy. Casey Brown rounding out the rest of the field.
Well, it's going to be Peters and Davis to lead him back to the green. Davis is the leader. Into the restart zone, he rolls, fires, back green. Great restart from the outside row. Not too good of a restart, though, from the inside. That could hurt them as they go through turn 1. We've seen the top line be the better and most dominant line. Arms looking to make some moves, though. Early, quick, and fast to get up to the front. He's going to try to drive around the outside of Mikey Adams. Riding on board with a helmet cam of Randy Arms. Randy doesn't have 20/20 vision, so we put a GoPro in front of him, so that's how he's driving this race tonight. But he's doing a good job rolling that outside line as there was contact out the back. One was in the grass. That was the 55 of Armstrong, able to gather it up, though. One coming out of the pits. Michael Davis, still your leader. Casey Herring going to stay out of the way, stay up top as, the 72, that's Jeremy with a big save, trying to stay off of Casey, going to come back up the racetrack, but able to save it. Great save from the 72 there. What a race. I don't even know where to look. There's so much going on. This is awesome.
Yeah, got quite a couple battles going on so far. As like I said, we're rounding into the last little stage of the race here. 26, or no, sorry, 20. Oh, I can't do math right now. 21 laps to go till the checkered flag drops. A lot of battles going on as Michael Davis is starting to pull a little bit of a gap from the 1 of Lilith Peters. Trying to maintain his gap, maybe not burn off his tires too much, at least have a little bit left. Don't think we'll see any pit stops for the rest of the night unless we get another untimely caution. But so far, Michael Davis starting to pull a gap.
Yeah, and we're seeing Randy not able to get around Adams there. And Randy starting to drop back just a little bit, but here comes Matt Frady. Here comes Jared Lindsay. Jared Lindsay put it on 99, Matt on 87 on different tires, but track position seems to be pretty big as the top 3 as well. Davis has started to pull away. Peters has hold the spot over Mazzella, and Mazzella is getting pressured from Mikey Adams, and Randy Arms wasn't able to pass Mikey Adams, and Randy's starting to drop back. So this could be a big point swing in the points for a lot of these underdogs here running at the front at the moment. But Mikey Adams held off Randy Arms.
Yeah, I saw some great defensive driving from him earlier, able to block off Randy Arms as he's got to shuffle through the back of the field and try to defend from Jared Lindsay, the guy, or sorry, Matt Frady, who's trying to make his way on the inside here as he makes a move into turn one. We'll see if he can continue the momentum and make the pass. As we saw Matt Frady before, we knew he was going to try to make his way through the field as quick as he could on a little fresher tires than some of the field, but we'll see how it works for him. He's not going to make the pass that easy as the top four are kind of starting to run away a little bit.
Well, top four are starting to run away, and Peters is starting to put the pressure on Davis. Lilith Peters in the one, that Bass Pro Shop 1 Chevrolet, putting the pressure on that 5 Valvoline Chevy. Side by side for the lead with 17 laps to go here at Iowa. Pressure's on. Ooh, that was a big sideways movement for Michael Davis on corner exit. Almost came across the nose of Peters, but they're side by side back through turn one.
Yeah, we'll see if he can keep his cool here. We see you getting a lot of pressure, especially from the inside. Whether or not he's going to be able to continue the paces, he's going to go up wide a little bit. And Lilith Peters is going to try to get a run on the inside, but he's not going to be able to keep it. Michael Davis has to lift on corner exit, so lead goes to Peters for now. We'll see how it fares on the entry of one here. He's going to make the move. Michael Davis having to go up a little wide as Mazzella now going to have to start putting the pressure on Michael Davis.
Lilith Peters to the lead at Iowa with 15 laps to go. Can Michael start to put the pressure back on him? Does Mazzella have anything for him? Or do these three get together and Mikey Adams steals it? This is going to be a battle. All on the same set of tires, but here comes Jared Lindsay, was able to get around Frady and Arms with the best tires in the field, 5 lap better tires than the 4 in front of him with 14 laps to go. Is there enough time, or does track position prevail?
Yeah, laps are starting to tick down, as you can see here. Gabe just mentioned 13 laps to go. Jared Lindsay able to make the pass on Randy Arms. He still has Matt Frady behind him as well. So clearly Matt Frady not able to make the move as easily as Jared Lindsay on those fresher tires. We'll see if he's got enough time to make his way to the front of the field. Gap isn't closing super quickly, so if Lilith Peters can hold on, he can pull himself a nice result here, even whether it's a top 3 or whether he could take the win here if he can use those tires to defend.
Well, still the battle, kind of the same gap that we've seen all night. Matt finally able to clear Randy, which hurt him a lot as Lindsay got by. Even though Matt was on the oldest tires inside the top 10, him and Randy are on the same tires, but they're still just trying to hold on as a few guys are trying to fight for the top 10. Cade trying to work his way back into it after having such a good run throughout the night. Got kind of on that bad strategy after the caution came out. Looks like it's going to be Wingard to his inside. And the top 3 are starting to close in once again.
Yeah, gap starting there. It seems pretty static at the moment. Not a lot of movement. Lilith Peters still just maintaining the gap to Michael Davis. He doesn't seem to be able to just pull close enough just to even make a move. Mazzella not putting on too much pressure. So right now the top 3 just seems to be holding stead for now, while behind him, Mikey Adams having to try to put him in a great defense on Jared Lindsay. We know Jared Lindsay's got some of the freshest tires in the field, and that with him just also being one of the fastest drivers in the field, as he's going to try to make a move on Mikey Adams going into turn 1.
Mikey Adams racing, one of the championship competitors at the end of last season. He's got a run on him. Is he going to make the move? We saw it at another short track. Him and Mikey were racing in practice. Mikey's going to look to his inside, though. Kind of arc the corner. He's going to have a nose up underneath him on the exit of 4, but Jared should have the run, and Lindsay moves into the 4th spot. Now, 1 second back to the leaders. He's got a teammate in Mazzella in front of him, but then he's got to get past Davis, and then does he have enough time to catch Peters?
Yeah, laps are starting to tick down. It's one thing to catch somebody. It's a whole nother thing to pass them, especially at a short track like this, where we've seen the passing not be super easy to make, and he's still got plenty of gap to make up. Is he still going to try to have to fight with Mikey Adams if he can keep the pressure going? So maybe a tall task for Jared Lindsay here as we are rounding out to the last couple of laps of the race.
7 laps to go. This is when you start feeling the pressure. Michael Davis is under pressure from Mazzella, but then the race leader with no clean air in front, really. I mean, you can see out in front of him, there's still lappers in front, so he's going to have to maneuver through the traffic with 6 laps to go, under pressure from Davis. Is he able to keep the pressure on enough to where Davis makes the mistake, and he does. Mazzella is going to have an opportunity here around the outside. Catching lap cars. Mazzella with a perfect move. Put the pressure on. Now he's got an opportunity to try to catch your leader. Going to be in clean air. Lilith Peters. 5 laps to go. Your leader at Iowa. Being run down from some of the veterans in the league. Let's ride on board with him as he completes a lap here. 0.6 of a second gap. Let's ride on board and see what he's doing that's making that thing so quick. Doesn't seem to be arcing it too much, but he enters arc in the corner and then comes off low. Gets a good exit. They're still racing right behind him. He's going to have to move by the lapper. That's Norris in the 57. Norris going to try to stay out of the way, not cause a battle. Mazzella is catching, though. Mazzella is coming fast. 3 laps to go. Alex, what does Jonathan need here to try to get to Peters?
I don't know, man. We've seen just the outside line off the exit of the corner. You can get such a good run, and if you can get to them in 1, you can hopefully make the crossover move off the exit of 2. Like we saw Matt Freddy and Jared Lindsay go back and forth earlier, but we'll see if you can even get the run in general. It doesn't look like he's able to close too much on the front stretches. We have 2 to go here. Mazzella may run out of time if you can't get close enough to the bumper of Lilith Peters here.
He's got a shot through 1 and 3 and 4. Does he run the outside and try to get the run? He does. He's going to be in clean air now with an opportunity. White flag is in the air for Lilith Peters, but Mazzella 0.2 of a second back. He stole one last season at Texas with a 3 wide photo finish. He's got an opportunity to try to steal another with a photo finish. He's got to run down the back straightaway for the final time. Within 1/10 of a second, Mazzella looks to the outside. Gonna have an opportunity. But it looks like it's gonna be Lilith Peters for the first time is gonna win at Iowa. Lilith Peters, second race with... Wow. I'm out of breath. That was a race. Speedzone Esports. Rookie wins at Iowa. Second race of the season. What a finish that was. One of the best in the series. Running them down. And there's your finishing order. Lilith Peters, Jonathan Mazzella, Michael Davis, Jared Lindsay, Mikey Adams with the top 5. Matt Frady, Randy Arms. Go back, please. No, go back. No, this, still fighting it. Austin Wingard, James Goodwin, and Cade Ferguson to round out the top 10. Alex.
Yes. Oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, Michael Cochrane in 11th. Had himself a decent day, like I said before. Josh Saxon in 12th. Brandon Sermersheim in 13th. Jeremy Flanagan, unfortunately, after such a great first half of the race, finishing in 14th. Christopher Armstrong involved in some trouble earlier, down into 15th. Jake Nippers. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Jake Nippers down at 16th. My pick. Landon Quisenberry, unfortunately, in 17th. Unfortunately, oh, was they're gonna skip the last 3 of the top 20. 21st, Michael McElroy, Casey Brown, 22nd. Oh, I guess we're gonna go through again.
I'm trying.
Oh.
You know what? We'll rate it off later. This thing is being stupid, and I don't know what the hell is wrong with it. And it won't go away, so I can't really do anything because this thing is being weird. All right, Wyatt Garrett, Jonathan Swartz to finish off the field. Hopefully this thing goes away because it is not very good to race status, race result. Let's get rid of it. Thank you. All right. Lilith Peters, we're going to drag him into the inner. Well, do you want to start from third to first or first to third?
Let's start with third for now. We can work our way up.
All right, take it away, Alex.
Michael Davis, welcome to the booth, my man.
What's going on?
Man, having yourself a great day today. We saw you earlier have a greatly timed caution for you, not so greatly timed for others, but worked out in the end in your favor. We saw you had some front running speed and great result to end up taking third at the end of the day, man. Just I need your thoughts on the race.
Yeah, good race. I mean, not really my type of track. So a little bit better performance than I expected here. But yeah, just tried to do something a little different. I knew I wasn't going to beat Randy and Jared and them on straight up speed. I mean, I could run with them, but wasn't quite fast enough to, to go around them. And so decided to try my hand at pitting. Try to do real quick math, and I knew it was going to be really close on fuel mileage. I was showing I was one lap to the good, so I was feeling pretty good. Didn't want a caution for a while, and then when everybody started pitting, I was like, man, it'd be great to get a caution now. It did, worked out, and then, that first restart, I mean, I had a really good restart and was really hoping it would just stay green. I mean, every restart I had a pretty good restart, but I just, tried to push a little too hard there on that last restart to try to get a lead, and I think I burnt my right front up just a little bit, but Lilith did a good job passing me as well as Mazzella. So congratulations to Lilith on the win, and yeah, I'm would like to have won, but I'm happy with the top three as well.
Yeah, well, speaking of tires, as you bring it up, a question Cabe and I had throughout a majority of the race tonight. How were the tires tonight? It was kind of mixed. We saw some people sliding all over the place, but then we saw some people they were able to use their stuff quite nicely. How was it working out for you throughout the race?
Yeah, I mean they're really loose on cold tires, but I mean it's really easy to overdrive the corners and burn the right front up, which is what I did a little bit on that last run, I believe. I just think I just got a little too hot. But I mean, overall, like the car was really loose on entry and could be loose on the transition to the straightaway on the corner exits. But I mean, it could get a little tight. Like on that last run, I think I waited a little bit too long to move my brake bias back down to help corner entry. But I mean, overall, I didn't really think that they were a big deal for me. I mean, I was trying not to overdrive it throughout the race there until the end.
Oh well, like I said, that's what's being consistent tonight. Like I said, we saw you towards the top 10 quite a lot for majority of the race here. Nice to see a lot of new faces, especially throughout the most of the entire field. Been a veteran here for the last season or two now, so nice to see you get another great result. Congratulations on the podium for the second race of the season, and yeah, before we let you go, get your shout outs in, my man.
Yeah, I just want to thank Speedzone for putting this league on. I've been a part of it for a long time, even before it was uh, when it was Speedzone a while ago. Gone through a couple transitions, but glad that it's back to Speedzone. So thanks to the admins, Randy and Casey and Ryan and all of those, James for just doing a good job adminning it, getting new members in here. It's good to see new people. We didn't have as many cautions tonight as I thought I would, so that was really nice. And thanks to you guys for broadcasting it. We appreciate that. It's nice to be able to go back and watch it and invite other people to watch it. So thanks to you guys for that.
Well, of course, man. Once again, congratulations on the P3, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thank you, man.
Good job, Michael. Michael Davis there. P3, kind of a heartbreaker. Thought he was going to be able to get it, but just missed out just barely at the end. P2, coming on P2, putting the pressure on Jonathan Mazzella.
Mazzella, welcome to the booth, my man, the pizza man.
Hey, what's going on?
Well, we saw you just by a hair almost steal the win there. We saw you steal a win last year. Thought you were going to be able to do it again here, but unfortunately, just a hair short. Yeah, like I said, we saw you in some great battles tonight. How was your race from your point of view?
Yeah, it seemed to me the motto for me all night. That last run, me and Michael Davis had enough fuel. I was hoping to stay green the whole time so we can win it that way. And then the first caution came out, and everybody took the rave around, so I had a good shot. And then the last caution, just one stroke behind every time.
Well, speaking of cautions, we saw have a pretty untimely caution for pretty much everybody behind the top 10. What was going through your mind when that one caution came out that nobody was expecting?
Yeah, I honestly shifted my priorities from a win to like a top 5. I didn't think we'd fire off that fast. But I think if we could have got around Michael Davis a little bit quicker, we could have given Lilith a little bit of a run for our money. So still happy. Overall, good day.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was saw quite a lot of good battles today. Surprising for Iowa. I'm not sure if anybody was really expecting it. What were your thoughts going into the race today? Like I said, I know Iowa's not usually the most racy track on the planet, but how are you feeling going into it?
Yeah, that first stage was typical Iowa. It was too loose, too green to do anything, but it rubbered up really well, and you can able to run some different lines and do some different tactics there. So, first half of the race was pretty typical Iowa choo-choo train, but the last half was actually pretty good.
Oh, well, that's good to hear for Iowa. Gabe, you want to get a word in?
Yeah, I was gonna say, obviously you stole one last year at Texas and was putting the pressure on there. Thought you were gonna be able to steal another one, but heading into next week, obviously you fought for the championship last season, but it's a good points day for you. What is your expectations for the rest of the season? Obviously, going to be a good points day for you, like I said, but if you guys have a not so good points days, you beat your teammate in Lindsay, Frady, Randy. So, what's kind of your thoughts heading into next week?
I always typically just try to shoot for top 5, top 10s the whole season, and then step it up towards the end there. And I'll probably still do that. You probably won't see me in the top 3 very much unless I just happen to chance there. So that's kind of, I like to be more consistent.
Well, coming home P2, not too bad. Go ahead and give your shout outs or whoever you'd like to thank.
No, I appreciate y'all broadcasting. Appreciate the league. I got a lot of new faces and a lot of great admins. So being around a lot of friends is always fun. Thank y'all.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for running it once again and making it fun there at the end.
I'll see you at Watkins Glen. Thank you.
See ya. Jonathan Mozella, second place finisher, and Lilith Peters.
Yeah, I'll let you take this one, Gabe. You can go
All
ahead and
right.
interview our winner.
We're going to get him in here now. Lilith, you got a copy.
Yeah.
Coming home with the win, second race of your Speedzone Esports career. Tell us about your race. Kind of got put on the right strategy there, staying out a little bit. Caution came out, got the track position, and was able to hold off a lot of the veterans in the league. So talk to us about that final run of the race and how are you able to do it?
Yeah, I could make it to the end because we topped off with that caution. I'm not really sure why most didn't do that, but I was going to get a good finish, and then that happened. So either way, it was pretty good.
Yeah, we know Mozella's behind you, but and he's one of the best in the series. But you're not too shabby yourself by the stats. Obviously, a 3800 S or SOF driver, iRating. But yeah, short track wise, what's kind of your expectations heading into the rest of the season? Since you are a rookie in your first season with us, what is your kind of expertise on track wise as well, and your expectations for the rest of the season?
I've been on the service for a couple of years, so I guess I know pretty much most of the tracks at this point. I just kind of expect to have fun. I don't know.
That's all it's about. Racing's all about having fun. So if you're not having fun, then don't do it. Is kind of always what I've thought. But second race of the season, you get it done. That's going to set you up good for the playoffs heading into it. But yeah, Iowa had a lot of speed tonight. Go ahead and give your shout outs, and who would you like to thank?
Just thank my teammate, Jeremy, and Ryan for inviting me here. He missed it. Sad. It's also my debut race. I didn't make Daytona, so I hope there's a win in your end thingy.
That's it. There you go. Yeah. I was going to say, I didn't recognize your name, and I know that you didn't make Daytona, so I was kind of like, you started running up front, so I was wondering where it came from. But you were also the biggest mover of the race, up 24 spots. You didn't qualify and was able to drive through the field. Talk to us a little bit about that as the new Iowa was updated. Talk to us how you were able to get through the field so quick, so, flawlessly and get the win that way.
I did a couple officials in the other cars, so I kind of figured out how it works, which is super freaking tight. It works out, I guess.
That is definitely something that I've seen tonight, and with Iowa, it is definitely a tight racetrack with this new repave. But congratulations on the win, and first race with us, and you get the win, so congratulations.
Yeah. Start off with the peak. Well, good night.
Good night. Have a good one, man. Lilith gets her done for the win. And what a race. Iowa put on a show for the second race of the season. We have a lot more coming up, though, as the season is still got a while. So coming up next week, I'm going to put it on the screen here in 2 seconds when I can pull it up. Give me a minute. If it shows up. It does not. There it is. We got Watkins Glen, the road course of the season. So, what do you think about Watkins Glen, Alex, heading into then? We know we have a lot of road course specialty guys in there who are really good at the road courses, but Watkins Glen, the only one of the season.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Anytime anybody mentions Walking Glen, I get just a little bit excited because, well, for starters, it is my home track and probably my favorite track on the schedule. So I'm gonna be totally honest with you. Depending on how I feel next Tuesday, maybe I'll be in the race. We'll see. But man, I just love Watkins Glen so much. I think it puts on a decent race, especially in the Xfinity car, because it's always usually pretty hot, and people are sliding around all over the place, and it usually puts on a good show. So quite excited for that one, whether I'm broadcasting or I'll be racing it. But yeah, we'll see how that goes next week. Like I said, could be a lot of action. Especially with the heat, depending on what the time of day they put it at and towards what time of the year. But yeah, I think the Glen will put on a good show next week, and quite excited to see it.
Yeah, that is a lot. I know we're going to have a bunch of different drivers for that one, and a lot of guys that kind of struggle tonight probably will show out that one if we've seen a lot last season. A lot of guys that weren't too good on the oval showed up to the road courses and ended up showing out. But I think the guy heading into next week is going to have a target on his back. That's going to be Kyle Ritchie. Everybody knows him on the road courses. He pretty much wins one every time we go there, so he's going to have to be on the lookout. But great race tonight here at Iowa. Second race of the season. Let me know what you guys thought about the overlays. I know it was kind of funky at some points. We can kind of tone back the broadcasting, Alex, and talk about the overlays. But yeah, I was kind of trying to figure it out. I don't know. It was first time playing with it, so honestly, just jumped into the race earlier, and just was messing with it. So let me know what you guys thought about it. I don't really know. I like how it looks. There was some points where it was a little bit messed up, but where it was like switching quickly, and maybe we can adjust that, and may have to talk to Richard about it and figure that out. But overall, let me know what you guys thought about that. I like the look of the overlays, maybe how the camera movement works. I know it's not as smooth as what I had, so I might combine the two possibly. But yeah, that was it was definitely, it looks really nice. So thank you, Richard, for helping me set it up. But yeah, Iowa gonna do it. Heading into Watkins Glen next week. Thank you everybody for watching. Alex, thank you for joining me and getting the crew back together. But we will hopefully be seeing you guys all next week, next Tuesday. And catch you guys then.